to hear. We swear the best star rappers of the year. So, cheery up, yell, scream bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
Greetings, Big Easy Fantasy Football League. I am not Original Doug, Old Doug. I am your co-host, Young Doug, here to deliver the recap for Week 7. Now, we had a little bit of a scheduling mishap, and we're not going to be able to give you all this on time if we waited to get together. So I'm going to deliver the recap solo this week. And you know what? I probably would have been talking most of the time anyway, because this theme is something I know a little bit more about than Old Doug, not Old Doug. And that is Game of Thrones. So we'll be doing a Game of Thrones theme here. Maybe some of you will get on the Iron Throne. Maybe you'll get destroyed by the mountain. We'll see exactly what happens as we go through these matchups. I do know that when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground. There's a little middle ground with fantasy football. It ain't like life and death or nothing, but it's really getting close. So we'll talk about some playoff matchups as well and exactly what that looks like for us moving forward. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first matchup. We have the Get Fresh crew versus Not Up for Games. And you know what? The theme for this particular slide is winter is coming. And the reason why is I needed to prepare. I needed to buckle down and make sure that my folks were ready to go. I just got off of some bye weeks. I squeaked away with some wins. And what do? We pretty much shit the bed. You know, I had Mark Andrews going for 20 points, who I picked up off a waiver wire a day before, like Saturday, I think it was, just to get somebody in there since Cole Kmet was out. And he saved our team. So, you know what? Thank you, Mark. Winter is coming, and we need to prepare a lot better than that if we can barely squeak by the winless Not Up for Games. Now, congratulations, Get Fresh crew. I ain't even going to talk about that too much more because I need to get it together. What I do want to talk about is this trial by combat that happened on Monday Night Football with No Smoke versus Team Skegee. Now, No Smoke, you know, he had that tough loss to me about a week ago. And now, you know, he had to crawl out of that. Lamar Jackson's a little upset, but James Conner and Lamar Jackson both were ready to go on Monday Night Football. Lamar Jackson had the early game. James Conner had the late game. So Skegee and No Smoke were about, I would say, maybe 10 points off one another. It was a close matchup, and it could have gone either way. But Lamar Jackson channeled his inner trial by combat. Golly, I forget his name. It's the same dude that played in The Last of Us and all that stuff. I forget who his character was in Game of Thrones, but when he said, "I will be your champion," and came out there and fought for Tyrion to save that life, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened, man. Lamar Jackson went out there with 40-plus points and put it down on Monday Night Football. 5 touchdowns accounted for. Come on, man. And then he had that lead block for Derrick Henry at the very end of the game. He's not playing around. He's 23-1 against NFC teams. So if you're NFC and you see the Ravens coming, you might as well get out the way. If only he could get to a Super Bowl to fight them in the Super Bowl, he'd be all right. He'd be a champion. But you got to get past Patrick Mahomes and all them in order to do that. But regardless, No Smoke comes out with the win. Congratulations to No Smoke. And that is insane. 5th place at 5-2 in the Po' Boy division. We'll talk about those little fantasy implications as we get a little bit, or playoff implications as we get deeper into this. The next matchup is the House versus Benson Backbreakers. The House versus Benson Backbreakers. Because he's 7-0. I can't talk nothing. You know, I can't talk no trash at all right now. Benson Backbreakers is 7-0. But you want to know who I can talk trash to? The House. Come on, dog. You told me you think, you know what? I think I can do this. I think I got this week. I think I can upset Benson Backbreakers. You didn't upset him. You lost by 40, almost 50 points. So where are you? Where are you right now? Huh? Where are you? Are you at homecoming this week? The House? Are you going up? No, you're in the outhouse. You're in the outhouse, dog. You got the one win. You got up out of the outhouse. Now we're right back in the outhouse. So Benson Backbreakers ended up, you know, running things and taking control there. Congratulations to Benson Backbreakers. And at 7-0, who is better to have on the Iron Throne than Benson Backbreakers himself? So congratulations to Benson Backbreakers, sitting on the Iron Throne, doing your thing. Congratulations, sir. Breaking backs left and right. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We had the Dynasty versus Taylor Swift's Exes. And I guess that meant a little something to Travis Kelce because he ain't even on this matchup. If y'all don't know how Mullins operates by now, Mullins is going to change his name based off of somebody on your team, somebody on his team, or a play on your team name. So I had to go a little bit deeper and realize that the Draft Dynasty has Travis Kelce starting. Travis Kelce didn't do a damn thing. So it must have done something, seeing that Taylor Swift's Exes over there because but look, Mullins went and beat up on Draft Dynasty like he was the Mountain, just going ham. That was like not a David and Goliath situation. It was the Mountain brutalizing people like he was doing left and right that whole dang on series. And you know what? It worked. Taylor Swift's Exes 6-1, fourth place in the Po' Boy division. And I think it's because of how you've been operating, Mullins. These name changes have been key. So just like the No Face Man, hey, look. He says a man needs a name. You have a name, and you change it every week to make sure it works. The chameleon in full effect. And look at that. You even got your white boy up on top, Drake May, helping you out to make sure your team spirit remains the same because you've been doing well, man. You can't fix it. And look, this is a perfect little matchup for you. Look at this, man. Bijan ruined it. Bijan ruined it for all of us. If only Brock Bowers would have caught a couple more balls, we would have had a really awesome little matchup here for you. Been perfect for exactly how you play things, Mullins. But congratulations on that win. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. Show Me TDs versus Chicago Dog Pound. Now, the Dog Pound, bro, you ain't have to do it like this. You did not have to do Show Me TDs like that. I thought you and her dad were frat brothers. I thought y'all had a deeper connection there, and you're going to do her like this. Hey, and it wasn't like she messed up or didn't put her dogs in. Just nobody performed. Nobody got up there and did what they needed to do. On Show Me TD's team. You had the Colts defense and Jordan Mason wrapping up her top two slots. Now, I will tell you that neither one of them had more than 17 points, I don't believe. And that is just a recipe for disaster. Your quarterback had nothing to do with nothing. It was just a lot of things that did not happen correctly. So it got me to thinking about, that dire wolf. And what the dire wolf does. The dire wolf gets in there and is a large dog. Dad, if you don't know, this is a very, very large dog, and all of the Game of Thrones, all of the Stark kids had their own little dire wolf. And them dire wolves weren't playing around. So this is how I felt. It was like a little girl walking up to a dire wolf in the middle of the woods, and they had no clue what to do or what was going on. So, hey, Show Me TDs. You can still bounce back. I'll showcase it. It's not over yet, but this was not a good matchup. This was not a good start to what you needed to do. 60 points, Pops ain't even break 100 and ended up doing well in that situation. So, yeah. Now, you did have some people get hurt and go down, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Congratulations to the Dog Pound on that win. First in the Gumbo division at 4-3. Insane. All right, Redeem Team versus HU Bison. You know what? I like this matchup, mainly because, obviously we on the King's Road. Derrick Henry is King Henry, MVP, in my opinion. He is running through everybody, about to have another 2,000-yard season. But how do you, as Redeem Team, get up there and have Baker Mayfield on Monday night and Derrick Henry on Monday night? They both go off for 40+, and you just absolutely destroy. Those two alone probably could have beat out your whole squad, HU Bison. And you know what? For you having the first pick of this draft, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Shame on you. You've been terrible. What is going on? You won your first two games, and now you're on a 5-game losing streak. Fifth in the Gumbo division does not even do you justice. You should be lower on that poll there, man. Now, Derrick Henry, when you see that man coming, this is basically what Baker and Derrick Henry said. If you think there's a happy ending to this, you haven't been paying attention. And they just went and mollywopped you over and over and over again with each player on his team. I think everybody got 20+ points on Redeem Team's team. We have eight players. 160 points will be 20+ for each person. So everybody at least got close to that. I mean, come on, HU Bison. At the end of the day, man, I know you were looking like, just give me something for the pain and let me die. Just when the king got stuck by that wild beast and was about on his deathbed, man. You just need to be put out your misery, man. And Redeem Team tried to do it, ended up doing a very good job at what was that last week that Pops had? That good math type of a matchup where It ain't gonna go in there twice, but hey, look, it's a pretty hefty amount that's over there. It's damn near twice. So congratulations, Redeem Team. Derrick Henry, King Henry, keep rolling, my guy. Um, Next matchup, we have brother versus brother. The Dance of the Dragons when the Targaryens were fighting each other. And so this is infighting within the family. And what I saw when I first got in here was, man, Ghost was doing it. He was beating up on, yeah, I don't even remember who's little big brother or who's big brother. I'm pretty sure Ghost is the little brother, but he's bigger. Well, regardless, he's bigger than get your own switch. But I'm not sure who is who. But regardless, you was looking like a big brother in the beginning, Ghost. You were. You had to call Drogo. You had to come at me, bro. You was ready to fight any and everybody. The hair was long as I don't know what. You see, with Kareem Hunt, the longer the hair for the Dothraki, the more kills that they've had. When you lose in battle, you got to cut your hair off. So y'all was balling. And then all of a sudden, Jon Snow, Josh Allen, saw them folks coming. He pulled out that sword and he went to work on you, man, and ended up securing the win at the very end of the day. Congratulations to get your own switch for beating up on your little big brother and securing that win. You needed it to get you to 3-4 in that division. But what's crazy is, look at this. Third in the Gumbo division for Ghost, at the same record as sixth in the Po' Boy division for Get Your Own Switch. Goodness gracious, we got to talk about this. But before we do, let's highlight the last matchup. And I called this one the Oath Keeper because 16-0 is not 16-0 or nowhere near it. Ain't never going to be nowhere near it. And Seminole G came in talking hella trash in the very beginning. And it doesn't seem like they've kept up with their oaths, if you will. Now, Seminole G has gotten a lot better. He's been winning on a little winning streak here, knocking out 2 wins back to back, trying to climb out of that hole. But I mean, it's helping him out because look, he's second in the Gumbo division at 3-4, being able to catch up. Now, what really messed you up 16-0 was trotting out Andy Dalton out there like he was Tormund. You know, Tormund gonna go in there and mess some folks up. The Wildling King, he gonna get it done. Andy Dalton was not Tormund. 0.02 or 0.06, he didn't have a point. Did not have 1 point. I know he got hurt, but still, he had not 1 point. So we got to get rid of him and Tormund. T. Higgins was your top guy. He tried to do his thing. Romeo Dobbs as well. But when you don't have but 2 points, less than a point from your quarterback, it's going to be hard to maintain what you need to maintain. And I just have Tyrion looking here because why does David Njoku look like somebody's auntie? I'm just confused. We haven't really had him up here yet. He looking like somebody's auntie out here. But hey, they won with Jameer Gibbs and your auntie sitting there. So congratulations to Seminole G for that victory. All right, now that we have the matchups from week 7 out the way, I want to talk a little bit about week 8 and what we can expect. So I'm going up against Ghost. Looks like I'm an underdog. I'm not ever counting myself out. I'll get on the way where I'll do what I need to do. But I'm going to say I'm going to cruise to 7-1 after this week. Get your own switch in the house. Get your own switch, man. You got it again. You're on a roll. Keep going. The house, you're in the outhouse until I see better. Not up for games versus Team Skegee. Not up for games is looking favored, and she needs a win. All I'm going to say is if you tried out C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs again, I mean, eventually a broke clock is right twice a day, but the definition of insanity is doing the same exact thing every time and expecting different results. I don't know if those results are going to be any different, so it might be crazy to do that, especially if you have Patrick Mahomes on the bench. Just saying. I think you'll come out with the win if you have that strategy. But if not, I'm going to give it to Team Skegee. Benson Backbreakers versus Redeem Team. This is a juggernaut matchup. Yes, Benson Backbreakers is down. Seems like he may have some folks on the bye. What will he do to make up for it? I don't know. But this could be the week that the top team goes down. And you know what? I'm locking that in. Doug's lock of the week is a hopeful Benson Backbreakers getting knocked down. And unfortunately, Redeem Team is like third, I think, or second or whatever. And he might still like loft up, if you will. But it only helped me compete a little bit more. So that's a selfish lock of the week. But I'm still going to lock it in. All right. No Smoke versus Show Me TDs. No Smoke. I think you've been rolling. I don't think you want to go take a step back. Show Me TD sounded a little defeated in the chat a little bit. You sounded a little defeated. I'm saying it ain't over yet. So keep working, keep rocking. and see what you can do. It's always that next matchup. Um, HU Bison versus 16-0. 16-0. I ain't never gonna root for HU Bison. Sorry. Chicago Dog Pound versus the Draft Dynasty. Now, I think the Draft Dynasty is going to come out with a victory on this one, just like she did last year when she beat Chicago Dog Pound, because I think Chicago Dog Pound is going to be a little bit nicer in this situation. I don't know if he has that ruthlessness in him. He just put his foot down on the neck of somebody anymore. He also lost Mike Evans. So who knows what's going to happen with Chicago Dog Pound, but I'm going to give it to the Draft Dynasty. Last but not least, we got Seminole G and Taylor Swift's Exes. I'm going to give it to Taylor Swift's Exes as long as he changes his name to something amazing. Will it be Dion related? Will it be Florida related? Will it be something on their team? I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what Mullins is going to do. It's part of my week figuring out what his next team name is going to be. So those are your Week 8 matchups. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, please stay tuned for the playoff picture so I can kind of walk through what this looks like for us next, for the next couple of weeks. All right, so there are, just to remind you of the bracket and the setup and how everything looks, there's 6 playoff teams, so the top 6 teams will go in. There's going to be the top person from each division will get a bye. Yes, somebody in that trash division is going to get a bye. It'll probably be Chicago Dog Pound, unfortunately. But I think about it like the AFC versus the NFC, especially when you look at Lamar Jackson being 23-1 against the NFC, but doesn't have a Super Bowl yet. You got to play everybody, and eventually you got to play somebody over here in the Po' Boy division and see what's going on. There's one matchup in each of the rounds, so that we're not that 2-week matchup type thing in this league. And the tiebreaker for your playoff seeding is your total points for. So the total points that you have scored is your tiebreaker. It's not a head-to-head matchup. So yes, I beat Redeem Team, but he still could be ahead of me because he will be ahead of me because his team is just getting 150, 160 points every damn week. And it's hard to compete with something like that. There is no home field advantage or any reseeding after the playoffs occur. It will continue along as it goes. So that's first off, a little recap of what our settings are within the system. Now, to look at the standings, you have the Gumbo division with Chicago Dog Pound with a 4-3 record on the top and not up for games with an 0-7 record at the bottom. You can see how it goes in between. As of right now, Seminole G is in second place. But the only person from the Gumbo division that looks like they're going to make the playoffs as of right now would be the number 1 ranked team, unless they get some wins over here on the Po' Boy division, because it is the top 4 best teams after the 2 divisional winners. All right. So, and it's by winning percentage, and then the tiebreaker becomes your points for. On the Po' Boy division, we have 1 undefeated team and 3 6-1 teams, and we are all slotted to make the playoffs, but really close within who's going to be on top of who because of that playoff or the points for versus points against. No Smoke and Get Your Own Switch still have a very strong possibility if they knock some folks out. I mean, Draft Dynasty as well. And Show Me TDs, you're really not out the picture. You're really not. There's still an opportunity to get in here, especially if you go on a run, to be able to lock this up. Now, to look at what it looks like as of right now, as of Wednesday, October 23rd, this is what it looks like in the time of this recording, right? Benson Backbreakers and Chicago Dog Pound, they're the top in their division. They both will get buys, all right? And then we'll have the Get Fresh crew versus Taylor Swift's Exes with the 4 and 5 matchup to see who plays number 1. And then we'll have No Smoke and Redeem Team with the 3 and the 6 matchup to see who plays number 2. And this is happening on week 14 of the season. And then you have the second round in week 15, the third round in week 16. All right. Third round being the championship, where you get to get your prize of cash money plus a customized fantasy football ring. So just a little reminder of what we're all fighting for. Bragging rights, customized fantasy football ring, no pinky rings, Redeem Team, and cash money. pretty nice little pot of cash money as well as next year already kind of paid for you also. So that's what we're all fighting for. Thank you for kind of sticking along for the end here to go through all these playoff matchups. We'll do a quick touch on them every week as we move forward to see how things are shifting. And remember, you still have a shot. Keep working. Do not give anybody any wins. If you the house or you HU Bison, man, play spoiler. In worst case scenario, go out there to win every day, so we can make sure that this is a fun rest of the season. It's already going to be super close, as you can see here with the way that we have everything matched up. So last but not least, we ain't hard to find. Go ahead and click that or scan that QR code to be able to subscribe directly to the channel. If you're watching this already on YouTube, and just go ahead and click the subscribe button. I think something will pop up here in a little bit on the side about a video that we have, some other videos that we've done before, or an easy subscribe button as well. But we appreciate y'all for taking the time to listen and be a part of this. And we will catch y'all next week. Peace.